Okay, here we go. This is Garrett. Let's do a fair but honest review of Once Human. Now, I've been playing this game a lot. Let's start off with the good first. And there is so much good. I had to write it down on paper. I've got it in front of me. I could start off in so many different places. But how about The Gathering? Most people thought that The Gathering in New World was pretty good, and I'm one of them, but The Gathering in this is so much better. First of all, they made the game in Unreal Engine 5. All of the Gathering nodes look better. Most of them are beautiful, and the system for Gathering is just top notch. I can't even think of another game that has better Gathering. And when we look at the Gathering of Ashes of Creation, which should be out sometime next year, the Gathering in Once Human is already better than what they're showing in that game. So if you're a gatherer the way that I am, this is like you're going to be in heaven. Number 2, this game is beautiful. Look at some of the scenery while I talk. Unreal Engine 5, the lighting, the sunsets, the mornings, the light shining through the trees and on and on. We've seen it all over the internet, and now we're seeing these graphics in Once Human. This game is absolutely beautiful. What could I mention next? How about the atmosphere of the game and the music? Parts of it are horror. They got the music matching it to make it scary. Parts of it are like zombie attack. They got that kind of music. The atmosphere, the musicians who worked on the music, the managers in charge of the atmosphere and the music, you got to give them all the credit in the world. Even from the very beginning of the tutorial, the game has a fantastic atmosphere to it. Next, crafting. It's incredible. Look at some of the video here on my home base. The crafting, there's so many things you can make, yet with their exceptional UI, it's easy to understand. It tells you exactly what you need. It tells you exactly where you can get it from, all without changing screens anywhere at all. Hey everybody, could I please ask you a favor? If you don't mind, scroll down below, click our subscribe button, because we could really use your help. Thank you very much. I'll take a little break while you watch some of the beauty of the game and the crafting. You know, if your life is falling apart the way that mine has so many times in my life, I want to encourage you to consider turning to Jesus with all of your heart and soul. Turn to Him, talk with Him, get to know Him, bring Him into your life in a deeper and more profound way, and I promise you that your life is going to change. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Garrett, I've already done that, and I'm still in this and I'm still in that. Listen, let's go deeper with the Lord by talking with Him more, praying more. Whatever you pray now, double or triple it. However much you talk with Him now on a day-to-day basis, double it or triple it, and you're going to get to know Him really well. Okay, let's talk about the mounts. Well, wait a minute, Garrett. There's no mounts in this game. Let's talk about the motorcycle, the Jeeps, and the cars. They're fun. In fact, I use the motorcycle because it's small and skinny, and I can fit between lots of hard places. They could be painted. They could be upgraded. You can upgrade them, I think, 4 or 5 different times. They're fantastic. When you compare the mounts in this game, your travel partner, your vehicle, compared to, say, World of Warcraft or some of the other games, this game's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now take a look at this. You see all these guys right here? These are my variants. These are my teammates. These are my helpers. Most of them are gathering for me, so I don't even have to bother gathering. Some of them I can take with me when I go out to battle, and they actually help me in the fights in different ways. Some of them are creating resources which you can use to make some exotic, strange items. This is cool. I mean, the way they designed this, it is so cool. I've got nothing but wonderful things to say about this so far. Now let's go to the boss fights. They're fun. You get a major boss at level 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, something like that. They're fun. They're powerful bosses. They're designed well. They're hard, but they're not too hard. They're not so hard like in Elden Ring where you're going to have to try 100 times. The fights are easier, but a little bit challenging and rewarding when you beat it, and you got a good feeling about it. Whether we're fighting a gigantic treant or a huge spider, the boss fights are well made. They're not perfect, but they're good and they're designed well. Now, the base building. Look at my base. Well, I like open lofts. I would be happy living in New York City, just having an open loft condominium on a sky-rise tower. I purposely didn't do my house because I like it all open like that. But as you look at some of the artwork and some of the houses, I mean, I've driven by on my motorcycle down by lakes and rivers and reservoirs and finding these waterfront properties that players like you and I have actually built. Just things of beauty. The base building is top notch. Absolutely fantastic. Now, how about the enemies? Most of them are zombies or some kind of weird mutant monster. They're interesting. I mean, we have all different kinds of enemies, not one or two kinds like in World of Warcraft, but all different kinds and all different strange shapes and sizes and abilities. And the artwork, they did an incredible job on the enemies. Absolutely top notch. Now, let's talk about joining a guild chat, guild members helping each other, and the public chat. I mean, the chat is hopping. Every single time I log on the game, the chat is absolutely hopping. People are talking about all different kinds of things. I mean, it's off the charts. And joining a guild, it's easy. You can chat with them. You can help each other. I mean, it's really, really cool. Now, take a look at this. This is a little mini game. This is called a Stardust Resonant Filter. What you do is you can fill this up with your special epic resources. Click Start to Purify, and what's going to happen is it's going to call all kinds of zombies, monsters, and enemies to your base, and you're going to have to sit here and guard it. And you have to guard it and keep this functioning until the timer runs out. And I'm telling you right now, this is hard. You're going to need all kinds of defensive positions here. You're going to need all different kinds of turrets. You're going to need all different kinds of these metal things that are burning enemies and putting fire down. And guess what else? You're going to need your guild mates, and you might even have to grab one or two other guys off the open map to come help you. And as you look at the chat down on the bottom left, I'm telling you, everybody is friendly in this game. Everybody is willing to help. I think in all of the hours I've played the game, there's been only one person that was a little bit rude. This game is just hopping. This is the hottest thing on internet gaming right now. And this mini game to guard this is insane. You're going to get incredible rewards. You're going to get all kinds of drops from all of the enemies all around here that you and your friends are killing. And it makes for a really fun time protecting your base. Now, is there some bad? Of course. There's no perfect game out there. You're never going to find a perfect game. Number one, let's start with the lag. I've had lag since the very beginning of the tutorial all the way to right now. There's been a lot of people on the internet who have lag. At first I thought, maybe it's my video card. Maybe I need to spend $600 and get something better. But it's being talked about all over the internet. And even some of the developers have talked about how they know about the lag and how they're going to be working on it and trying to fix it as soon as possible. It's hard to kill the bosses when you got lag. It's hard to do complicated fights and maneuvers when you have lag. So yeah, the lag is a big deal. Next, a lot of the UI is too complicated. Like, take a look at some of this. You have window inside of window inside of window, and it seems like there's so many unnecessary rewards and things we're working on. It's almost like a mobile game with so much stuff that you're working on, and you got to click, you got to collect, you got to look at it. Why not just simplify it all? Why not simply just get rid of some of this stuff? There's a couple other things I want to mention in the bad section, but before that, a word of encouragement. This is a great time to turn to Jesus. And even if you've been walking with the Lord since you were a little boy or girl, we can always draw closer to Him into infinity. You don't got to stop. You could go deeper and deeper, closer and closer with Him in a relationship by talking with Jesus, praying, studying about Him, the Bible, etc., watching Christian movies, watching Christian concerts, sharing with Him, laughing with Him, crying with Him, getting Him involved in as many areas of your life as you possibly can. Now, let's continue. The game's a little too easy. And in the beginning, that's good. You can level up really fast. You can kill bosses a couple levels earlier than you should be able to. I've never had to two-man team a boss. I've killed them all by myself, and quite often, like way earlier than the game is telling me that I should. It's a little bit too easy, and after a while, it starts to make everything feel a little mundane, a little bit simple, a little bit like, oh, okay, I'll go over there and wipe out the entire base again with my machine gun and get out of there and grab everything. And, I don't know. The game's a little bit too easy. Now, the store, when the game opened up, the store was so bad. I wanted to give them $20 because of how incredible this game is. I wanted to support them a little bit. We're talking about Starry Studios, and we're talking about NetEasy, one of the largest gaming companies on planet Earth. And there was nothing to buy. Look at some of the silly things that they put in the game. Most of us playing the game are grown men and grown women. They have items in here for children. They have items in here that men would never be interested in. They have things that look so silly, so ridiculous. Even children would laugh at some of these things. And by the way, what you're seeing right now is the updated store. This is the store that was updated last night or the night before. What we got for the first 2 weeks, there was nothing in the store, nothing that any adult might want. And even now with it updated, it's terrible. The developers are not understanding what a grown man or a grown woman might want to look like as we're traveling across the maps fighting. Now, last but not least, it's got to grind. And the grind is serious. And when they talk about resetting the game every 6 weeks, to some people, that's a really big deal. There are people all over the internet complaining about the 6-week reset on the game to where we have to start over in many parts of the game. And the negative talk has been so bad, the developers are trying to answer back, every day or every few days on the internet. They know that we're unhappy. Now, some people do like a reset, some don't. In this game, I would not want to do this grind again. I would not want to do this 6-week grind again. So, for me, the reset is a big problem. For other people, they're going to love it. Last but not least, after everything that I know now, I would have rejoined a PvP server. Now, the developers did say in September they're coming out with new PvP activities to do and new PvE. And I know a lot of people are hardcore PvE players, but the grind gets really boring. It's the same zombies. It's the same military troops with the machine gun. It's the same thing over and over again. And I'm thinking, wow, I need to get onto a PvP server where all what is breaking loose. Hey, everybody, could I please ask you a favor? If you don't mind, scroll down below, click our subscribe button, because we could really use your help. Thank you very much. So, yeah, they have to add some PvP activities into the PvE servers, or we got to re-roll or transfer to a PvP server because the grind is too easy, too monotonous, too long, and it gets boring. Okay, to finish my review, this game is incredible besides the 6-week reset. This game's incredible. I'm going to put this game in my top 10 of all time. Top 10 of all time. What about the reset? That's a big deal. That's a really big deal to some of us. Like, I don't want to be starting over. Besides the 6-week reset, this game is in my top 10 all time. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you love base building, you love PvE, you love bosses, you love solo dungeons, guilds, lots of activities, constantly things to do on the map popping up every hour. Every hour stuff's popping up that you could go fast travel and go do real quick and get more rewards. All I can say is praise God for this game. That was some incredible gaming experiences that I had with it. Even with the lag, parts of the game being too complicated, seasonal wipes every 6 weeks, and a terrible store. I would recommend, if you're into PvP, you've got to join a PvP server. Praise God for this game. Let's turn to Jesus the very best we can with the grace God is giving us.